All right, feeling alive. It's round 5. Let's get this tree line going. We're going to start back to front and rock the Casbah on this one. Clean your brush. I'm going to use the same brush. It's covering pretty good. It's covering fast, so no need to change right now. And we'll see how things go, all right? Let me set this up. Be ready to go. All right, so we're gonna start back here and move up forward and see how that goes. Now I have that light color. Looks sort of like that, if you can see it in the light. It's a mixture of, I forget what we did, blue and Naples yellow, just a little bit. Also, edges matter. So how one color meets another color really does matter. Even throwing that in there right now and looking at the screen, looks pretty good. You don't want every edge the same. We have soft edges in the sky. We have a nice transition, a nice gradient. Obviously, we do have a tree line. There is something coming on. You don't need it kind of straight as I have it at this moment. So you could flick up the brush strokes very slightly, or you could come back, wipe off your brush, clean it, go back into your yellow, and come back and hint at that edge again. And it'll create a little softness. If you rub into it, and that blue will transfer if you go somewhere else, so be careful. But I'm down with that. There should be a song about that one. All right, one thing that I have learned, I can use this color to create like this fog transition. If you squint your eyes at your image up here, like how it looks a little bit lighter than it does up here. This area looks a little bit lighter than it does up here. One of the ways that we can do that without having to create another color is I'll use this color. Actually, I didn't even fill in that all. And I just noticed there's another hill in the background, but if I squint my eyes, it kind of disappears. So do I really need it? Nah. Let's just nail what we have, right? Let's just do that. So back to the fog, or that distancing between the mountains, I can use this color and I can put it at the bottom hill of the next mountain below it. So this is the next preceding mountain that we see. So I can kind of put that color at the bottom, raise it up a little bit, and then I can come in with the next color, which the next color is a little bit bluer. It was more of that sky color sort of that we had up here that I said would look really nice. So let's see how nice it looks. All right, well, it looks okay. It's not bad. So I'm gonna fill it in first, and then I can manipulate the edges later. Let's just throw it in first, right? Get the paint on the brush. We'll carry it up a little bit. We'll carry it through our tree, although it does end right there. Oh well. Nobody knows except for you. So don't tell nobody. And I'm just going to hint at that. I can wipe my brush off. I can even go back into the lighter color if I wanted a better case scenario of lifting up and feeling a little bit slightly more of a transition. Or I can like wipe off my brush totally and just kind of blur them both, which is a good thing too. And even these edges right here, I don't like the lines. Like if you actually look at the image you're looking at, you'll see a mark up or two, a tree line, and they're not big. They're not big at all. If there's anything, I would want to increase the I want to increase this edge and make it sharper, because that is a sharp edge. If you squint your eyes at the image, you're going to see a sharper edge right here. That's a good thing. So we just adjust and not make it quite as dull, and we can add more paint, thicken it up, make it sharper. And there we go. Tree line dose done, right? I'm okay with that. So the same transition, I'm going to use that same color that I just had for the dark up here. And I'm going to put some of that color down in this valley. We'll call them valleys. But we'll put it in this valley, slap it in. And then we'll go to the darker. We'll go to the darker color and create that line. And I can create a line. I'm just gonna blur that line later. I can follow my drawing line. I'll blur it later, transition out of it, and it'll be great. It's the easiest way to do it. Come back in. And I'll still use some up and down brush strokes just in case like the light wants to pick up some of these strokes and it feels like trees. One thing you don't ever want to do is to have like 3 lines the same. So like if you were to like come up and or be really still, like you wouldn't want to have 3 marks the same. Like you don't want to have the same marks like but using the edge of the brush, flipping up at times, rubbing down harder, changing the pressure that you're using the brush will create different effects. You'll be able to see probably a little more detail on this scenario, even though I have that on right now. I might get hit at the top just slightly at the next. But we're basically just trying to put paint down so I can maneuver it if I want to later. But to be a solid transition in between shapes and values. Sometimes you'll see me rub a finger across. Maybe I'm just trying to soften that edge. If not, like I'll go back and rework it. You can clean your brush off. Use a paper towel, get it all off, and then you can come back in with some different colors and, you know, hint at what you want or what you need or feel like. It's more about how the painting feels than actually rendering a photo. Like, I want you to feel like you are at the mountains. I don't want you to feel like you're looking at a painting that's strictly a picture of the mountain. Anybody might as well take a photo. But we're painting it, so we're doing something different. All right, so I might go back in to that lighter color just a little bit, we'll just add some more paint to the canvas and bring that color up a little bit. If you want a little more of an effect, you can, even at the bottom, you can transition from that top color again, since we made these piles. You can kind of transition a little bit better. You can even have it slightly lighter if you like. Or in a few spots you can have them lighter. And that's fine, that's great. Lights bouncing off the treetops. Bob Ross would say those are happy little trees over there. All right, so let's do the next. We're running about 9 minutes on this one. We'll do the next one. And then the next one, maybe, kind of same process. Yeah, actually, it's pretty dark, isn't it? It's more the value of the undertone, but it's more the value of this, but that's fine. I can put that down right now. And you see how that transitions, and I can even skip a place or two and hit a treetop or something else maybe going on in the tree line. Go back to my the lighter color underneath that, or even maybe even two underneath that, and create a transition of things being a little bit lighter. And I'll break up this line. You can break up that line. You can go down in it, leave it where it is, go down in it, leave it where it is, go down in it, leave it where it is. You can even add a little bit of the lighter if you want. It's not really thick. Just making some unevenness in that color. And then we can go with the big boy. Let's go dark. Let's hit it up. So I'm going to try to paint this whole thing this color, and then we'll go back in and lighten it up and create some ins and outs. As I paint, I'm kind of looking at the edge of the tree line, also looking at the edge of this tree line. There are some air holes in between this tree that you might want to hit or grasp. And I can flick up, I can vary the edge of my brush, create different shapes, turn it while I'm painting and flicking. These are things that I do all the time that maybe you should do. Like, just have fun with your brush, know what your brush does and what your brush is good at doing. That's a good thing to know. If you don't like a certain thing, you can rub it away, or you can clean your brush and go back in and lighten it up. A lot of times painting is just about fixing mistakes, like that dark dot right there. Don't like it, I'll rub it off. Do not, since we're working with oils, I do use my fingers a lot, but I do not recommend it. They are toxic at times. Surgeon General's warning. See how these are kind of spaced, 1, 2, 3, you kind of see that? Like, I don't like that. I'll knock one of them down or push one of them out. That way you don't have like I love paintings that have a rhythm or a vibe to it, but I don't like repetitive. These tree lines, every tree up is not repetitive. There's not one, I mean, there's 3 right there a little bit that could be kind of repetitive, but still, like, for paintings, like, it doesn't look that good. It doesn't feel that good. It feels kind of contrived and out of sorts. So I see some air holes right there I'm going to dive into, but I'm still wary or cautious, cognitive about the shape of my foreground. So that's one thing that you still want to be cognitive about. And I'll fill in the rest. Might just even throw in a little bit of that color here, although it doesn't really belong. Just having fun. Keep painting. Follow your instincts is the best thing. Like, some of these I can blur down. I could even just smear with my finger, or I can dry my brush off and just kind of filter it out a little bit, fine tune it, go back over it, kind of drag down some of these areas if I wish, and it'll push it down. I can even smear some more with my finger, and I can bring that dark color up as well. So this is round 5, I'm pretty sure of that. And we're almost done. We have the mountains in place. We got the sky in place. We have this fog transition. Everything's looking great. We're looking good. So keep up the good work, and I'll see you in the next round. All right.